Hey everybody, movie reviewer next door here, and I'm back with another review. And let me adjust the camera a tiny bit. And I just saw S.W.A.T. Firefight. I know, it's hard to see it. This is a 2011 action thriller film directed by Benny Boom. And oh my god. And it stars Gabriel Macht, Robert Patrick, Carly Pope, Giancarlo Esposito, Kristana Loken, and Sharon Kane. In this film, Los Angeles SWAT officer Lieutenant Paul Cutler is sent to train the Detroit SWAT team on new anti-terrorism and homeland security techniques. Cutler has a hard time settling into his assignment as he locks horns with his new captain and encounters resistance from the team he must lead. Cutler begins to adjust to his new assignment, starting a budding romance with police psychologist Kim Byers along the way. Unexpectedly, a routine hostage call turns deadly, and a relentless ex-government agent named Walter Hatch vows vengeance on Cutler and the entire SWAT team for killing the woman he loves. Cutler must use his considerable SWAT training and knowledge to save his teammates and defeat a trained killer. So, what did I think of S.W.A.T. Firefight? Well, I just saw the first SWAT movie. This has literally no relation to that one other than the name. So that's a good sign. I didn't like this. I didn't like this like at all. There are things to talk about, but I did not enjoy watching this. Like, I might have given it like a 4 out of 10, which I know that's low. I'm saying it's not irredeemable as a film, but it's definitely one of those where I'm like, why the fuck was this made? But let me get to the cast first. Gabriel Macht as Paul Cutler. I have not seen Gabriel in anything yet. I have some movies on my watch list that he's in: The Recruit, The Good Shepherd, Bad Company with Anthony Hopkins. I might try rewatching Whiteout. He's not good here. He is not the right casting at all. This is a severe case of miscasting for him and a couple others. And he could get, if he had the right voice with the look and could inflect well, I think he could have worked, but every time he tries to act serious or tough, it just doesn't work. Robert Patrick plays Walter Hatch. He is possibly the only semi-passable performance here, and I think the issue really here is that he's wasted. He doesn't get a lot to do, so he does still feel wasted. Carly Pope plays Kim Byers. She's okay. She's a police psychologist that he basically just like keeps yammering at her until she gives in to his advances, which I know that makes me sound very feminist, but in this movie, literally, he's like, hey, what if I take you out to dinner tonight? She's like, nah, I've got work to do. What about tomorrow night? Nah, I've got papers. What about the other night? If you stop asking, I'll let you take me out. So yeah, she's just there for that basically. It would have been nice to have had a scene maybe with the villain where she's like getting into his head or something, and that's part of how they take him down. Like, she could have been an integral part of the story, but no. Giancarlo Esposito plays Inspector Hollander. He's fine. He's there to be your stereotypical police chief. Kristana Loken plays Rose Walker. She is there in one fucking scene and doesn't get shit to do. And I can't believe she's actually shown in the cast. She has less than a minute of screen time. And she got like, it literally said in the opening credits, and Kristana Loken. Like, whatever. And Shannon Kane plays Lori Barton, an old, I think, Iraq buddy of our main character. She's another person who's miscast. Like, I remember she was in The Collection. I knew I recognized her. She was the, like, I guess the lover of the main mercenary guy in The Collection. And like, I didn't mind her there, but here, I don't 100% buy her in this tough girl role. I think it's possibly a direction. And let me just, right off the bat, this director, Benny Boom, I have not seen any of his other films. He did a movie called Next Day Air with Donald Faison and Mike Epps, which is a comedy. A movie called 48 Hours to Live, which I guess is supposed to be an action comedy. I don't know. And All Eyes on Me, the Tupac biopic. This is the wrong director for this type of movie, as was the director of the last movie for that one. Because the last movie, a comment that I just saw from Mr. D-Man, I think that's his name, Anton Fuqua would have fucking knocked SWAT out of the park. Even with the PG-13 rating, I feel like he would have delivered some impactful action, maybe gotten some better performances out of certain actors. He probably would have actually written the film so that the other characters, had more of a presence. In this film, literally the only characters that matter are our main character and, like, in the SWAT team, are our main character and the Iraq woman. But she really doesn't get much to do either. She snipes a couple people. And the what, like... I'm fishing for things to say worked about a movie when I'm saying the way the villain dies is the most interesting part of this entire movie. Because that might be considered a fucking spoiler, but who fucking cares about spoilers for this movie? If you're watching this video, you probably have already seen the movie anyway. But I mean, everybody knows the villain dies. Whatever. The villain's death is actually well done, even though there's these weird, like, GoPro shots that they keep doing. There's random fucking GoPro shots. It feels like they're trying, because I forgot to mention, the screenplay of the first one was co-written by David Ayer. And that was before he was directing. Or before he was, like, a super well-known name. I forgot if that was before or after Training Day. It might have been after Training Day, but I don't think he had directed yet. There's, like, random GoPro shots in this where there'll be, like, a GoPro attached to a gun, so you see, like, ooh, look at this cool shot. And it happens at fucking random. There's one where they're using a battering ram on the front door of this house in the beginning, and there's a GoPro on that. There are literally GoPros in a hallway when a bunch of explosions go off, and I'm like, why? Why do you need this shot? Like, why is the exterior shot not enough? I just don't understand any of these fucking decisions. They don't make much sense at all to me. And again, you have Gabriel Mocked, who, again, I don't know anything about really. Apparently he was a big part of Whiteout with Kate Beckinsale. I don't remember him being in it at all. I hope his acting in other films is better than in this one, because even just from the standpoint of just in general acting, his acting is piss poor. Like, it feels like he's doing, like, a parody of, like, tough guy characters in action movies. And it really doesn't work for this movie, which takes itself very, very serious. And from what I can tell from the trailer of the third film, it takes itself so much less serious than the first two. And actually just is a fun action movie, like a fun kind of Assault on Precinct 13 siege movie. Again, it's called SWAT Under Siege. But yeah, like, that's one thing this movie could have benefited from, was a bit more of a fun tone. Like, I know it's killing and all that and whatever, but you can have a fun tone with an action movie. Even the John Wick films, like, knew when the first three knew when to have the fun tone and knew when to have it be serious. This film plays it dead serious the entire time, and it's just not fun to watch. And I don't even think it's a pacing issue with this film, but it does kind of a similar thing to the first, where there's so much of the film that's dedicated to the training exercises that it's like, okay, guys, get on with it. And we keep going from training exercises to actual SWAT stuff. And the actual SWAT stuff is so dull. It's insanely dull. And you think with this film where they're not relying on CGI, like the first film didn't have a ton of CGI that I noticed, other than a bit where a helicopter is crashing that didn't look that great in the first. I didn't really notice any CGI blood, which is something I can give to it. There were parts with, there were blood squibs that actually looked pretty good, but didn't happen all that often. There's a couple cool looking shots, like somebody getting shot and falling backwards and the blood splattering on the wall behind them. There are cool shots in this film, or nice looking shots, but a lot of them are weirdly, like, I don't know, this film feels very direct to video. And it's not just because you have someone like Robert Patrick playing the villain, it's also that you have, well, Gabriel Mott, like, of all fucking people, you hired him to play a good guy, or to play your main action hero. And, like, seriously, what I was expecting with this, I was expecting, like, oh, maybe it won't be, like, super SWAT-like, but it like, either it'll focus more on SWAT tactics, or it'll just be a straight-up action movie, and fun. And it kinda did the first thing at parts, but then near the end, it just becomes, oh, guy walks up, gets shot, guy walks up, gets shot. And there's one that the main character for some reason unloads his entire mag into. He's apparently just wasting his ammo, knowing that his girlfriend is up the stairs and he needs ammo in order to kill the guy holding her hostage. And the fucking motivation for the villain is so fucking weak, because you find out about the villain and the motivation at the very same time. Like, the first time you see the villain on screen, and not through, like, video footage or, like, camera feed, is literally when he's holding his girlfriend hostage, and then the girlfriend dies in the exact same scene. Again, thanks for bringing Kristanna Loken. It's not like you shouldn't have brought Kristanna Loken to play the Iraq buddy, because Kristanna Loken can fucking do action scenes. I'm pretty sure she did, like, ballet or something. She could do some fun fight scenes, but no. She's there for a blink and you miss it cameo that's apparently fucking credited on the poster. Literally on the poster for this. And, like, it's such a weak motivation. Like, oh, my girlfriend killed herself because I was obsessed with her, so I'm going to try and kill all of you guys. Or I'm gonna kill your girlfriend. Like, it's so fucking weak. And, again, I have no reason to care about these characters, because the first movie and this movie do a shit job of making me give a shit about any of these characters. They don't have really any personality. They, not even archetypes. Like, archetypes would have added something. Like, if you had one that was like a vegetarian, one that's a clean freak, that type of thing. Kind of like Bad Kids or Crestview Academy. They did that, and I still cared about multiple characters. There were multiple characters that I was like, oh, they're fun. I'm enjoying watching them. They're funny. And in this one, I have no real emotional connection to any of them. They're just very incredibly bland. As for the action scenes and the training sequences, there wasn't a standout training sequence. They were all very, very boring and a bit of a letdown. Like, I know this is a drastic difference in budget from the first. It's like 8 million budget, I think, or 7 million compared to 70 million. I understand that. But the last film, at least, for the most part, from what I could see, put some of the budget on screen. And again, it had a pretty packed cast of big names for the time. But, oh, and the score. I think I forgot to mention the score of the first one. The score in the first one was really good by Elliot Goldenthal. Very rocking and like patriotic, and I loved the score of the first one. One of the biggest things I can give to the first one. But the action scenes here are very pedestrian. There's the best moment is like a bit of a shootout in a convenience store. Some of the items on the shelves get shot up, which is whatever, fine. And a character gets shot in the head by a sniper. And it's a slow-mo shot. It's like one of the few decent shots in the film. And the score is fine for this film. There's like nothing to say about this movie. I will never watch it again for sure. And I really hope that S.W.A.T. Under Siege is more fun than this, because this was just a slog, a chore to sit through. Like, I was hoping that it would get better, but it really didn't. And they really needed to give Robert Patrick more to do. But, yeah. That's my review of S.W.A.T. Firefight. If you've seen the film, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. If you have any recommendations, put them down there as well. And, movie reviewer next door. Oh.